Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to talk about alcohol. 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 If you guys don't know that, Jordan Peterson has a great song. Let's see. It's by Akira the Don. Oh, sorry. It's called Jordan Peterson Drinking Song. Let's see if I get doxxed by, here we go.
Better than alcohol, man. Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you're trying to stop drinking, you need something.
This is how we started today. Let's go.
That's pretty good. So you better find something a lot better, man. Esteemable people do esteemable things. It's like, yeah, well, you want to figure out something that you're doing with your life that's worth not getting drunk and screwing up. You might
Yeah.
Why do people drink too much? If you like alcohol, that's a stupid question. Why do people drink too much? Well, because it's great. So why stop? Well, you do stupid things when you're drunk. You hurt yourself. You compromise your health.
You do stupid things when you're drunk.
Turn into a liar, and it screws up your life. It's like, yeah, but it's pretty fun. Yeah, well, it is. But you need something better than that. And
Come on, don't stop me.
being straight and
Akira, don't copyright me. Don't copyright me, Akira. Don't copyright me. That's it. We'll call the song.
Alcohol is an interesting drug.
Alcohol. It's an interesting drug.
It's a hell of a drug. Alcohol. It's a great drug. But the problem is, it's a great drug. No, you need an adventure, man. You need to get out there and have something to do. Something worth waking up for. That's the substitute for the addiction. Actually,
Yeah,
the addiction
baby,
is the
alcohol.
substitute for that. If truth be known. Alcohol really is a good drug for coping with anxiety. It makes you more extroverted and enthusiastic, more full of positive.
Okay. That's enough of that. Just had to get started there because alcohol is so big in our society right now. People are talking about it all day, every day. It's for some people, it's a daily struggle. Some people binge drinking has gotten so accepted in society that it's gone beyond bars and nightclubs and everything, and starting to seep out into the streets. I mean, it was as I was putting this stream together today, I was looking up the history of alcohol. Obviously, we have to know a little bit about what we're talking about. So at one point, alcohol was not as socially acceptable as it is today. Alcohol in the past was more of a ceremonial type drink than it was to be consumed on a regular basis and get inebriated and just act stupid like these people. Let's see. Yeah, man.
It's tricky.
Bro.
It's tricky.
Wasted,
You
bro.
got a piece of color. Fucking perfect.
Good times. That's what happens. That's what happens on when you drink too much. Do dumb shit. It's hilarious. I'm gonna get up. My face is gonna look like grated cheese.
Thank you for taking me home.
Of course. Did you give me the wrong key?
No, Kevin, that's my key.
It's the right key, man.
This is the key.
Come on, bro.
My house. No, I swear to God, this is my house, right?
And this is something I'm gonna bring up is that I think it's gotten too socially acceptable for women, specifically women, to get hammer time. Because 9 times out of 10, these women go out, they get schmammered drunk at the bars, and if they don't get hammered drunk, you know, that's fine. They'd probably be able to take care of themselves. But if they're hammered drunk, they can't even go home, take themselves home safely. Some dude probably has to take them home. Maybe they get an Uber now because it's 2022, but literally 10 years ago, this is what was happening to females. They were getting stiff-armed off of balconies. Told to go home. Go home. You drunk, girl. Nobody wants you around here. Go home. Now we got, I'm going to take an Uber. I'm going to call an Uber. Go call an Uber. They don't want to even drive your drunk ass around anymore. Look at these dummies. Oh my God. All for one night of good times. That they can't even probably afford half of them. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, here we go. Goodbye. Take out the whole table. Yeah. I've been that guy. Stupid. This is. Look at this. Hit your head face on something. Look, they're not even doing it. They're at home, just drunk, doing nothing, wasting time. First time out since 2022. 2020, yeah. Y'all knuckleheads should have stayed home and not drunk. Look at this. Gay! Brow. We're having such a good... Up in the morning.
It's time to go to bed.
I don't want to go to bed. I'm a girl and I'm drunk. I'm drinking. Don't you see I'm partying?
You okay, baby?
No! Why did you take my drink away? Dude.
I want to go back to the nightclub where I belong. Because I belong to the streets.
It's time to go to bed.
I don't respect my boyfriend.
You're a dick.
Thanks, love.
You like me?
I like you, Anna.
1 out of 10.
11.
It should be 12.
Should be 0 for your drunk ass. Nobody wants to take care of that. Nobody wants to take care of that. Nobody wants to take care of that drunken. Look, and here we are. This is what we're talking about. TikTok. Out here.
Down. Up.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
YouTube promotes drinking. That's no big deal, right?
How was it?
Boom. Complete failure.
I mean, I guess it was pretty good.
Bro, you should have seen how hard I was working on front of him. To make an idiot out of yourself on the weekend. Look at this. The internet does not forget and it does not forgive. What? Oh my God. What are these? Look at these idiots.
You want to try taking the lid off?
I'm so drunk, I can't. Yeah, you don't need more, buddy. You don't need more.
You're not meant to down it.
You sip it. It's not a shot.
I thought it was a shot.
Max, throw it out of my car. Max, that is so gross. Get that the fuck out of my car. That is a dead ass bluegill. That better. No, Max. Oh, Max. No.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking funny with the fish in the car.
Max, what do you have? What
I got a fish, bitch.
Where the
Look,
fuck
no
did you
seatbelt.
go? It was in the snow.
Driver's probably intoxicated unless it's an Uber. We get
You have
lucky.
3 seconds. I'm gonna give you a 3-second.
Yeah, eat that fish, you dummy. Anyways. Well, let's go back here. I was Google heavy drinking. And I'm like, let's see. What kind of videos are on here? Where did they take it down? Where did it go? There was a video with the Sidemen. Oh, did they get rid of it? Or they took it, did they take it down? So I was scrolling through here, let's see. Here. Boom, there it is, see? Look at this. Drinking challenge. Oh, it's gone wrong. What does that even mean? Sidemen drinking mukbang. Hopefully it's not actual alcohol, but this is only a year ago. Look, here we go. More heavy drinking. More heavy drinking. Drunk moments. This is your guy, Drunk Bingo. This is your guy that runs the internet, Mr. KSI and his buddies. This is the guy. Look at that. 15, 1.5. Unreal. Let's watch a little bit of this. I want to see what he's doing for 50,000 getting schmammered.
Nice hat. No, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Welcome to A to Z Drinking. Hey.
Let's see.
Everyone's very excited, I can see. Before we get started, the discount code is banana.
Why is it banana?
I didn't know. Now you've made it weird. I just thought of a random word. All right, okay. Today, we're going to be out on the streets of London, and you've got to drink the alphabet. So A could be...
apple juice.
No. B could be beer. C could be Corona. You can either do the type of drink, or it can be a brand of drink.
He's explained it.
You can shithouse it. I'm giving you food. You can shit. So long as you're drinking and having fun, you can be a bit shithouse. I kept notes during pub golf on who was a decent drinker and who wasn't a decent drinker. Oh God. So I've made the teams today. Oh no. Simon, I will say, you were a dark horse. You
Let's make teams, drinking teams. This is what we do. This is what young men aspire to do. These are your influencers. Let's make a game of it and see how much we can drink of different drinks and how drunk we can get from the UK.
He's plugging himself.
Right. He's not actually calling you.
It's alright, mate. We only do drinking once a week. It's not that bad.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's your ringtone?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh no, bro!
Wait, so pink team has the 2 people who threw up and the non-drinker.
Well, yeah, but however, you've also got Bazinga.
I knew it!
The blue team is me, Josh, and Vic. Okay, there we go. Nice.
Come on. Nice.
All right. So on each letter, you have to drink 1 unit. An example of 1 unit is half a pint. Okay. It is 1 shot of a spirit/liqueur and a small glass of wine. So no massive things here. We're gonna spend a few hours out and about, and then we're gonna meet up.
I love it. Here, we're gonna follow the laws. Let's listen to that again.
1 shot of a spirit/full of 1 unit is half a pint. So on each
these are the laws of the land. We have to say them on a video, otherwise the laws will think we're binge drinking. If we don't say we're following the rules, then we will be considered binge drinking. And with the magic of video technology, we'll edit it so it doesn't look like we're binge drinking. It'll just look like we're drunk periodically throughout the day. Yay!
An example of 1 unit is half a pint. Okay. It is 1 shot of a spirit/liqueur and a small glass of wine. So no massive things here. We're going to spend a few hours out and about, and then we're going to meet up at a rooftop bar, I don't know, in like 2 hours. Okay. So do what you can till then. Then at the rooftop bar, we've got a bartender.
Okay.
And we also got some games.
Oh.
If you win the games, if your team wins the games, you can get rid of a letter.
So they got 2 hours. Let's see how many drinks they get before they get up to this bar, and then we're gonna move on because I don't want to watch this whole thing. Obviously, it's an hour long. That's a little too long
They don't.
to see what happens.
Pink unicorn backpacks.
But for how many millions of views this has? This has 16 million views on this video.
There's only 2.
16 million.
Team, we've got blue knee straps. So yeah, come on. Put it on.
Okay. Silly accessories. Check. This will be hilarious.
So, in the microwave, I prepared us some food before.
Hilarious. Oh, look, I got a mini one of those. Bing, 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 bing.
Oh, you're wearing the same outfit as before.
Why? Why are
In the
you
drinking
always
video, you were
fucking
wearing the
doing
exact
it?
same thing.
The Sambuca?
This
Sambuca's
doesn't count towards
trash.
A or anything. It's
a warm-up.
It's a sales go. It's a sales go.
Cheers, lads. Cheers.
Okay, so they take a shot to start. They're one shot. Sambuca. Sambuca is like 20% volume by volume or 20 proof or something.
If you're not doing it, someone is.
Sambuca.
Fuck man, no man. Allow it, no. I'll actually fight you, bro. Nah, man.
For the content. For the content.
No, I'm not drinking it, bro. No, drink it, man.
That's sure you got nominated for it, bro.
I nominate KSI.
No, you can't nominate me. Nah.
Give us a countdown.
20.
Let's see.
Bro, what's Toby doing? You're moving mad, man.
It's your teammate, bro. I'm fine.
Why do we have Toby?
You two owe me.
Why do you want to fast today? What? You're not
Because
fasting tomorrow?
I'm fasting.
And so you're not eating.
No, I'm
at all
fasting.
today.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
fasting
drinking.
because I want a KSI #1 album. So I'm praying to God for that.
Nah.
30% by volume? No, it's just like a little snack. It's a warm up to warm up the stomach.
I made
That's like a.
Now they're walking around. Let's see, 2
He
hours.
would have gone pro if he didn't injure his knee.
Pro what?
Everything.
Clearly, is this the bar here? This is where they're at the bar. They're walking around. So about 10 minutes here. All right, let's see.
Wasn't there the place down there?
There's something here. Yeah, I haven't opened
The
yet.
Brewdog place.
Gosh, it's a nightmare this, isn't it? God.
Why is he walking funky with the knee brace? It's just a thing around his leg. What a ding dong.
Right, so we're walking through Shoreditch at 1 p.m. on a Monday, looking for a place to serve us alcohol, which isn't going to happen.
Is this one?
I think it's shut.
Wait, no, there's a door open.
Yeah, that's
Where is he at? Where are they at?
Schneider.
Schneidernerg? I don't even know where that place, where that is.
Shoreditch.
Shoreditch.
At 1 p.m. on a Monday, looking for a place to serve us alcohol, which isn't going to happen.
Is this one?
I think it's shut.
Wait, no, there's a door open.
Yeah, that's
It says yes, we're open.
Yeah, no.
So that's interesting. Wait, hold on. Let's see. Where did he say he was again? I've never heard of that town. I gotta see. Shoreditch. I assume it's in the UK. Yeah, it's East London. Okay, East London. Shoreditch. I mean, I don't know where they are, but it looks like there's plenty of bars. Let's see. We can figure out where they are. Let's see. Let's take a closer look. 239 Old Street. There's the address right there. That was difficult. Oh, we didn't want to zoom in that far. There's Old Street. Ding, ding. Oh, bam. I think that's where they are right here. Let's see. No, not quite. Is it down the street here? We're on Old Street. Old Street. Old Street. There it is, City Express. What are they selling here? Plants. Potted plants. The best kebab. Let me see. I need an address on here. We got an address on here. What's that say? 18116. The Bengal Tiger. Bengal Tiger. Oh, we're going the wrong way. Okay, so they're down this way. So I was in the right direction. We were on Old Street, but it was a 290 something. Here's a sports bar and grill on Old Street. It's 1 p.m. on a Monday in the UK. We're not going to be able to find it. There's 188, so they're down here. Oh, here we go. Here are these little arches thing in the background. I want to say, oh, look at this. This is like some ghetto spray paint action they got going on there in the UK. Okay, yeah, so they're definitely not down there, but in here? Is this, no, this is interesting. This is Old Street Yard. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, I can't go down that street, so is this considered Old Street too? So I'm thinking they were... Yeah, this is kind of Old Street as well, it looks like. So there's plenty of places. Look at, there's a bar, there's a bar, there's a bar, blah, blah, bar. Look at all these bars. It's no problem. So I don't even know. We're walking through the streets of Shoreditch. We won't find anything at 1 p.m. Obviously, you're not a very good drinker. Because I'm pretty sure, let's see. The Grind. Let's see. It's open. Closes at 8 p.m. Opens at 7:30. They probably serve alcohol. What's that say? Night Jar. Look at the UK. It looks like it's like New York, but older. That's a kind of cool little intersection right here. It's kind of nice. It's kind of a nice neighborhood. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad about living here. Anyways.
At 1 p.m. on a Monday, looking for a place to serve us alcohol, which isn't going to happen.
Is this one?
It's not going to happen.
Wait, no, there's a door open.
Yeah, that's
it says yes, we're open.
Yeah, no.
Cold beer and a heated terrace.
Yeah. Lads, yeah, sit down. Do we have time for this? There's a door over there. Go knock.
Okay, I think God's sake. Yeah, okay, I think it's a lie.
At this point,
we continue.
Brewdog looks open, I won't lie.
Brewdog, it's here last time, it's open.
Alright, cool, nice. Can we order to a table out here, or is it? Yeah. Oh, thank you, cheers.
We just want somewhere to give us alcohol.
Ever after.
Ever after, open for cocktails. Talk to me. There's a table in front of the door.
Look at the place is packed.
It's an L. It's an L.
Oh no, that's a...
Nowhere's going to be open, bro.
I think
What's
we
this?
just go Red
Gigi's Hoxton.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah? Cocktails. It says cocktails, guys.
Is it all beer?
No, there's other stuff too. Bourbon? You want a bourbon?
Look, there's that Abuelo rum.
Isn't that Grandad?
Their planning for this is really was not that not that great. But I don't A to Z drinking challenge. Like I don't appreciate it, and I don't like how it's so 25 million pub golf drinking wasted. I mean, alcohol. Let's see. We want just so in case you guys were curious, China is the #1 producer of alcohol in the world. China. United States is #2. But what is really curious, let's go, don't dox on the Instagram. Let's go, yeah, let's see this first. Here you go.
Bud Light, y'all. Watch this shit.
That's how you do it. In case you guys didn't see, we're gonna watch it one more time.
This is how you choke a Bud Light, y'all. Watch this shit.
Yeah, just throw it right down the drain. Trash. Absolute garbage. All right, so we're going to watch this little 4-minute video on Budweiser. What's really interesting it shows a couple of different things. One, it shows how the American spirit, as in the United States, will find a way. The entrepreneurial spirit of the American way will find a way to make money and profits, even in the face of regulations. So let's say let's take a look at, we can go pretty extreme really quickly here, but we'll start with let's say marijuana on the flip side of alcohol, right? So marijuana, the black market tends to thrive in places where it becomes highly regulated and at first, and where it's still illegal, it still has a black market that's able to thrive and be readily acceptable and accessible. And alcohol had its prohibition in the 20s. Yeah, 1920s is when it started. And it ended in like the 30s. It's interesting they call it the Roaring 20s. But during the prohibition of alcohol, what I learned through this little bit of video is that Budweiser was an inventive company, and that's what made them who they are. Who they were up until maybe a week ago. I will obviously not support Budweiser any longer. I'm surprised it's made it this long, considering when it was sold to other countries. Where were we? I lost my page. When it was sold to a Belgian company, I want to say Belgian company. That at that point I thought Budweiser was going to be dead because it was an American beer. It was made by America for Americans. And now it's completely the opposite. And with what's happened last week with their marketing campaign and that Dylan Mulvaney, it really makes me wonder two things. One, obviously the United States is possibly controlled by some sort of opposition. And two, Budweiser and the international influence just does not, those people don't care either. So they just want their money. They just want their paycheck. So we're going to watch this, and then we'll watch a little. Yeah.
Apple pie and Budweiser beer. Yes, there's nothing more iconically American than the red, white, and blue label of a can of Bud.
Ooh, I'm going to go grab some more coffee. Cup's a little empty, dog. So we're going to fill up the cup. Fill up the cup. And then we'll be right back. We'll watch this. I'm going to use the potty. Okay, guys, we are back. Now, I got my coffee. I want to say, I'm thinking about a couple things here when it comes to the United States and alcohol. Let's look at that beautiful old Budweiser can that used to have the United States, U.S., made in the U.S., pluribus unum, whatever, the whole 9 yards. And then, you know, it just decided to go to Capuzzo, sold to a German company. Not even, Budweiser UK. You can't even get it doesn't even have the, what does Budweiser mean in German? Yeah, part of a Belgian company, yeah. That mid-2000s they were bought out. They were sold to the Belgian company. So when that happened, I'm surprised Budweiser lasted as long as it did, to be honest. I'm surprised it didn't fold within a year or two after being bought out by the Belgian company, but I guess they had enough clout in marketing, and Budweiser itself, which you'll learn here, was
Budweiser was even briefly renamed America.
Quite powerful.
And how much do you actually know about the king of beers? Here's a surprising look at the untold truth of Budweiser. It's not actually American. Don't tell George Washington, but it turns out Budweiser isn't actually American at all. Nope. Originally known as the Bavarian Brewery when it was founded in 1852, the company was acquired by German-born soap maker Eberhard Anheuser in 1860. In 1869, his German-born son-in-law, Adolphus Busch, bought half the company, and Anheuser-Busch was born. In the 1870s, while on a trip to Europe, Busch discovered a beer called Budweiser, brewed in the city of Budweis, in what is now the Czech Republic. Inspired, he decided to make his own Bavarian lager, which he gave the highly original name.
Typical American, right? I know, I can hear everybody, the lefties right now. Yeah, it's a stolen formula. It's not American.
Budweiser. That name theft led to decades of legal disputes, which have only settled down recently, as the Belgian company InBev purchased Anheuser-Busch in 2008, and the Czech Budweiser Budvar Brewery in 2011. So maybe they should name their next beer Belgium? Trust the process.
Budweiser is so done.
Innovated a number of revolutionary ideas, including bottling beer, pasteurizing it, and refrigerating it so it could be shipped fresh long distances.
So done.
And he also made the beer actually drinkable. William Nadelceder, the author of Bitter Brew, The Rise and Fall of Anheuser-Busch and America's King of Beer, told NPR that previously the beer at the brewery was so bad that people would spit it back across the bar at bartenders. These days, Anheuser-Busch uses a couple of special.
I remember those commercials.
All their beer tastes
the bitter beer face. That was when I was a kid. You see that on TV, bitter beer face. So hilarious, right? You're a young child. You see that commercial, right? That marketing. Let's see if we can pull up that commercial. There it is. Keystone Light. This is 95. This is the mid-90s. So when this came out, I was 12 years old. No. What year did it say? 95? Yeah, 95. I was 12 years old. So around 12 years old, just becoming a teenager, this is what I see on cable TV. Cable TV, because there was no, like, AOL was around, Time Warner cable. You could get on AOL, but it wasn't like it is now. There was no YouTube. There were no people making videos online.
You're oozing charm. Then it hits you.
Larry?
Don't let bitter beer make a bad first impression. Drink Keystone, America's least bitter beer, so there's never a bad taste, never a bitter face.
Take this. It's always brought me luck.
Stop making faces.
Okay. No bitter beer face. No bitter beer face. You got that, guys? So that's the type of the commercials that I grew up with. And then you had these were, when did these come out? These were 99. These were classics. But now it's
Real Men of Genius.
Now these are no good.
You, Mr. bad toupee wearer.
Mr. Itty Bad Toupee Wearer.
More than any neon sign or exploding
Oh
skull.
my god, this video is horrible, 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 horrible. Horrible. But those commercials used to be hilarious, the real men of genius. And now oh no, somebody did it. Somebody did it.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Man who says he's really a girl. Mr. Man who says he's really a girl. Not satisfied with being the most flamboyant.
He tried to sing it.
You had the balls to pretend that you had the balls. Major bonus.
I've never seen that picture and I never want to see it again. I think my eyeballs just got burnt out.
Everything necessary to be a woman, like XX chromosomes, you do anything to show it's true. Carry tampons,
In
cry
theory.
on demand, get hair extensions, and even drink Bud Light. No real man really likes it. You learned faster than Jaleel White. There's little money in being an annoying boy man. But there's millions in endorsements for being an annoying girl man. But it'll mostly pay for therapy. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, you king of the princesses. Cause when it comes to crazy millionaires, only Mr. Jenner can keep up with you. Bud Light does endorse the insanity of Mr. Mulvaney, but probably not this ad.
Oh, I'm dead. That was great. Yeah, we're going to give that a like. Oh, wait. Come on. Evaluatainment. Relax. The Only Job. Yeah, go see The Only Job. Ah, boy. Okay, where were we here?
How to where it's manufactured or purchased. The secret to consistency across the brand and all 12 United States AB InBev breweries is that they all use the same yeast, derived from the same culture originally used by Adolphus Busch in the first batch of beer he brewed in the 1850s.
Oh, and his name's Eldolf. You gotta. That's it. No more Busch beer. How have we been buying this beer for so long? The marketing's that good. We're that stupid.
And their other secret ingredient, strangely enough, it's rice. Budweiser says it gives their beer a crisp taste and smooth finish. But critics of the brand claim that the company uses that as an excuse to dilute the beer because rice is cheaper to use than malted barley. Prohibition pro tip. After selling alcohol was made illegal in America in 1920, most breweries went out of business. But Anheuser-Busch managed to stay afloat and even prosper, thanks to a genius idea by Augustus Busch's son, August Anheuser-Busch. He realized that while it was illegal to sell beer, it wasn't illegal to sell the ingredients. So Anheuser-Busch began selling their yeast and other ingredients to home brewers, desperate for a taste of banned beer.
Give me a keg of beer.
Not only did it keep the company afloat when Prohibition ended, Anheuser-Busch was in position to take over the industry as most of their competitors had been wiped out. Horsing around.
Give me.
So let's
most breweries in America.
So let's take a little bit of a closer look at this right now, okay? So, and I have some other things pulled up here. Let's see. No, not this. That's Bud Light, blah, blah, blah. I had something about the Prohibition and Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch, what was it? Founded in the 1890s, 1880s, something like that. Let's see. Real man of penis. Mr. Dylan Mulvaney guy. You have a penis, so you can endorse Bud Light. It's real man of marketing genius. So, 1867. So they had about 50 years worth of time to develop their formula for their beer, right? Now that was 1876, but Spuds McKenzie. What? Oh, that was in the 80s. Oh, okay, okay, wait. Sorry, I thought that was 78. No, I'm looking back. The Beer of Kings. Oh. See, this is something that's interesting. The Budweiser from Budweiser has been called the Beer of Kings since the 16th century. So this is one thing that I know people would argue is that beers and alcohol has been around forever. It's part of our traditions. It's part of our society. La la la. You can't just get rid of alcohol and da da da. You're right. You can't get rid of it, but I definitely think there can be regulations. There can be, times put in place of when not to sell it. Because let's be honest here, you don't need to be drinking 24 hours a day, all day, every day. It's just not ideal. Point is here is that prior to the U.S.'s mass production, especially from what Budweiser was able to accomplish, prior to that, and the ban in the 1920s really changed things in the United States, because around the rest of the world, they didn't binge drink as much, because it was always, alcohol was often tied to religious ceremonies and or things of that nature. It was never like, it's Friday night, let's have a drink. It's Tuesday and we did our homework, let's have a drink. We finished our exam and now we could go have a drink. Like, that didn't exist. That wasn't a thing. Like, people argue about pubs and bars and how they've been a part of society and they're this and that since the dawn of time. I disagree. I think now that if you really take a look at it, the bars, they were places for warriors and soldiers and people of high esteem to go and congregate and to blow off steam and to release the stresses of the worlds around them. Now, yes, it still has that, but it's not the same. It's not the same effect. Whereas in the past, you were going there alone. No, I should say in the past, you were going there with your brethren, like other soldiers, other kings, other kingmakers, other elites and riches. Alcohol wasn't for the poor and downtrodden. Like, alcohol was for the elites many of the time. Like, and that's if it was good tasting. Beyond that, it was like, I don't even know, grog. I think they might be grog, they would call it, or something. They would have other names for it where it just was like tub alcohol, like that stuff they were making during the Prohibition in their tubs, in probably old barrels, reused barrels. Like, if you were a brokey during those times and you were drinking, you were literally drinking like the dirt water of the toilet almost to try and get drunk. There was no, that alcohol was not massively sold like that. It was very much protected and put on a pedestal in the past, up until probably the 19th, 20th century. I want to say the 20th century, till the 1800s, somewhere in there. Because even during, like, say, World War I and World War II, World War I, alcohol was like almost not a thing unless you were a soldier, because of the war and the ban on alcohol. Let's see, when the ban on alcohol advertising, just like, so 1918. Let's see. Let's go back. So it ended in 1933, 1920, 1933, and then World War II, took place between 1914 and 1918. So, so basically, what happened was, let's think about this for a little while, and this is in the U.S. Bunch of soldiers got sent overseas to protect the world, not even though their homeland, technically speaking, to protect the world, protect invaders from coming overseas to attack us, which the U.S. getting attacked at that time was a very, very low possibility. Because I looked into this, and what was it? The airplanes, the transatlantic flights, barely started taking place in like the 1900s, in the early 1900s, when mass transit of commercial airplane services didn't even start. Yeah, the first attempt at a nonstop flight was in 1919. So after World War I. So before World War I, there really wasn't much transatlantic flight. So they weren't importing alcohols from overseas. So it was only whatever you were getting in America or whatever you were getting in wherever you were fighting during the war. And before that, it was kind of, like I said, it was all ceremonial. It was all based in, that's like the blood of Christ, right? If you're Christian, you go to church, they give you that little sip of wine, the blood of Christ. It was ceremonial. It was never, just like the French, just have a glass of wine with dinner. Nah, they don't have glass of wines with dinner. That's not how it works. That's a cultural myth. That's something that was created as an excuse for your more or less binge drinkers. So anyways, so look at this. So World War I ends 1918. Then you got the Prohibition starts in 1920. So what happened between those 2 years of after the war ended? Essentially, those soldiers came back with a bunch of mental issues after seeing their buddies getting blown to bits, and they turned to alcohol to cope. And the United States didn't know what to do, so they said, fuck it, let's just ban it altogether to try and curb the whole thing, to curb the issue. Now it was actually an experiment. I forget what they called it. They had a name. They had a name behind it, it's the dry experiment or something like that. It's interesting that this is a quote here, right here. So, to decrease crime and make places safer with the alcohol, that's part of the reason why they cut it off. Now it says it's rooted in the impressionistic rather than the factual, which is interesting because that's something that we're dealing with currently, this whole facts over feelings. So somebody tried to argue that by banning the alcohol, it was a feelings act of emotion, not an act of fact. But I don't believe at the time that they had enough information to study it as it was, because I think alcohol has and always will be a detriment to society in some form or fashion, no matter how you want to shake it. Because I can get on board with the idea of it being celebratory and used in religious contexts, but then when you get into ideas of like bottle service and the nightclubs and bars, which is it has evolved into today, it's definitely changed the landscape. Because I think alcohol's always been a social drug, as they say, and a ceremonial drug. I don't think it's until modern times that we see the common man consume alcohol like we do today. I think in the past, alcohol and drinking and all that was really for an elite class of people. That had accomplished much. And because they had accomplished much, they were able to enjoy the fruits of their labor, so to speak, and have some inebriated times without having to worry about the repercussions of necessarily their actions or their level of consumption, because they had clout, money, status to back it up. Now, I'm sure, just like any person, too much alcohol and, if you do something stupid, you can definitely ruin your entire image in one night because of a drink. So I think it's definitely an interesting conundrum that was that's been present that hasn't been really talked about up until recently. And even up until recently, even in the last 10, 20 years, the laws on alcohol have changed dramatically in many states and in many places across the United States for a multitude of reasons. One, the downplay of the consequences of alcohol and the upplay of societal's acceptance of it, and the things that come along with it, the glitz, the glam, the lifestyle that's been presented. I mean, let's go back to this, right? Budweiser positioned themselves as an American superhero, basically encouraging the debauchery during the time of it being banned back in the 1920s. Like, it was banned, right? But Anheuser-Busch said, you know what? We're going to work around the system. We'll just give these people the ingredients of our beer that they love so much, apparently, that they can make it at home. So because they were able to make it at home, they kind of worked within a loophole. They didn't buy it. They didn't sell it. They were just making it, and he was making the ingredients. So when it became legal again, it really was just a matter of marketing that set Budweiser on the path to where it is today.
1920, most breweries went out of business. But Anheuser-Busch managed to stay afloat and even prosper, thanks to a genius idea by Augustus Busch's son, August Anheuser-Busch. He realized that while it was illegal to sell beer, it wasn't illegal to sell the ingredients. So Anheuser-Busch began selling their yeast and other ingredients to home brewers, desperate for a taste of banned beer.
It was like craft beer before craft beer.
Give me a keg of beer.
Let's finish the rest of this out here.
Afloat when Prohibition ended, Anheuser-Busch was in position to take over the industry as most of their competitors had been wiped out. Horsing around. We're all familiar with the bastions of the Budweiser marketing department, the Clydesdale horses. But did you know that it takes a lot for a horse to actually become a Budweiser Clydesdale? Yes, there's an interview process. Know that it takes a lot for a horse. Know that it takes.
Now wait, I just noticed this. I've watched this a couple of times. Why?
Horses. But did you
the
know
fuck
that it takes a lot for
is there a freaking zebra?
A horse to actually become a.
Why is there a zebra down here? Cause somebody. What the fuck is it? What's up with the zebra? Are Clydesdales actual painted zebras?
Budweiser Clydesdale? Yes, there's an interview process. The Budweiser Clydesdales have been a tradition since 1933.
What was with the zebra?
When August and Adolphus Busch Jr. surprised their father with a 6-horse Clydesdale hitch. These days, Budweiser breeds the Clydesdale horses and has about 175 in their collection. According to Warm Springs Ranch in Missouri, the home of the Budweiser Clydesdales,
when Budweiser folds,
must be aesthetically consistent.
What are they going to do with the horses?
They must stand at least 18 hands high or 6 feet tall. They must be geldings and at least 4 years old. They must have a bay coat, 4 white stockings, a blaze of...
Blah, blah, don't care.
It
Let's
may
go.
be known as the king of beers, but these days Budweiser is a pretender to the throne, as it's only the 4th best-selling beer in America.
Haha, number 4!
Though, because they're keeping it all in the family, as Budweiser's upstart younger sibling Bud Light is now America's #1 beer of choice.
How? When did this happen? This is not. I mean, this is old news. When was this video made? This video is 4 years ago. So pre-pandemic, 2019, Bud Light was doing just fine, apparently.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
God, I remember these stupid.
Light beers in general are on the upswing, with Coors Light at number 2 and Miller Lite at number 3. But it's craft beer loving millennials that pose the biggest threat to Budweiser. In 2014, the craft beer industry as a whole outsold Budweiser for the first time. While Anheuser-Busch revealed that according to their research, 44% of 21 to 27-year-old drinkers have never even tried Budweiser.
Good. If that's the case 4 years ago, that means most of those people have aged out of Budweiser, Bud Light, and they're not gonna drink it anyways. So literally, this Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light campaign and the whole thing is like a campaign geared towards 18-year-olds, teenagers, high schoolers, college kids, people who are just starting to drink or are just drinking. Because, I mean, that Dylan Mulvaney isn't even... I don't even think he's 30 years old. So they're like just under that age. So it's like... Yeah, we're going to listen to a little blurb from that Bud Light lady in a second. If you haven't heard that, that's some pretty good information. It's going to be out all day today.
Budweiser, the video game. In 1983, arcades and bars across the country were introduced to the new hit game Tapper, which put players in the
Tapper, I
world of
remember this
bartenders
game.
desperately trying to keep up with the insane demand for Budweiser beer. Sporting a Budweiser logo, the game was sponsored by Anheuser-Busch as some sneaky viral marketing.
They got this.
A little too sneaky, though.
They got a version of this in Fallout, Nuka-Cola Tapper.
Oh, and the game had to be rebranded.
Wow, how about
Tapper
that?
in
I did not know that was a Budweiser thing. Now that really makes me who made this
The
game?
original version was considered to be advertising alcohol to minors. There's a bright side, though, as the kid-friendly version has lived on in pop culture to this day. This Bud's for you, Tapper.
Huh. That's funny. Budweiser had a game back in the day. It's probably super rare if you find like an original Tapper. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. Learn something new every day. How about that? And then, like I said, the Nuka-Cola or Fallout has a game.
Fallout 76.
Man, shut up, bro. I don't want to hear you.
Just well with this one. Oh, they got the Nuka people.
See, just like the Budweiser game from back in the day. So it really makes me wonder who made the game Tapper? Who made the arcade game Tapper? Because obviously it wasn't Budweiser. They just paid for it. Marvin Glass and Associated. Bally Midway. Midway. Midway made everything. Midway made some of the best games back in the day. Midway arcades. You can still go to some places and find a Midway arcade. But that's cool. Look at that. That thing, $2,000. That's a refurbished. That's not an original. That's refurbished. You can tell because it says LCD monitor. It's refurbished. That's too much. Let's see. Now this looks more... This is a root beer one. Well, that's pretty neat. Let's go back here.
Fallout.
Country music, apple pie, and Budweiser lived on in pop culture to this day.
That. Okay, so... Where was I here with the Bud Light? Yeah, this one right here. So it's just very interesting. 4 years after being number one, this is what the 4 years. So that video we just watched about the history of Bud Light and Budweiser, they were number one light beer in America. And 4 years later, this is what the marketing person has to say. The newest marketing person, who clearly is a mom, has got kids, and doesn't have time to do research for anything but her job.
One of them was so amazing. She was this woman. She was a corporate lawyer, and COVID hit. She took her son to a playground, and she saw a swastika on her son's playground in her kind of community in Connecticut. And she was like, I cannot do what I do every day. I'm going to quit. She quit her corporate law job. She became an anti-hate activist. And now she has recently, since I closed the project, she's run for Congress locally and won. Voices. There was this one of them was so amazing. She was this woman. She was a corporate lawyer, and
what did I just? This is not even what I was looking for. But this woman. I assume it's a woman. To be honest, it might be a trans person to me. I could not, like a malnourished boy. That's probably incorrect. So I retract that statement. But this yeah, I saw a swastika and I became anti-hate activist. Come on, it did that one thing. What did the difference? Like get out of here. Let's see. Is this one I'm looking for here?
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job.
Oh, here we go. Yes, she's a businesswoman. So so when somebody says I'm a business person, businesswoman, or businessman, or whatever, I'm all about my business. When they say that to you, one, they don't stand for anything, probably. They stand for feelings. They stand for feelings and making you feel good and not facing adversity, not challenging yourself to go to that next level. They're not challenging those things. So when you hear that, just be wary from the get-go, because their intentions are selfish. 9 times out of the 10, they're looking out for themselves. They're trying to make a buck. And by increasing that buck and making themselves look good, it's an easy cop out, right? I just make everybody happy, and if everybody's happy, then I'm happy. And if a problem happens, then it's not my fault because everybody was happy. It's somebody else's fault. They can point the finger and not take accountability.
Job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline.
You can hear it from the beginning of this speech of when she took the job, that she immediately making excuses that when I got hired, that it sounds like this isn't really what I wanted to do, but it's exciting because it's in a difficult place, so I thought it would be a challenge for me. She didn't give a fuck about Bud Light or Budweiser or alcohol for that matter at all.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And
this is a person that in like a couple of years, they'll be gone from Budweiser and they'll be at another corporate Fortune 500 doing their marketing, rooting their marketing department. And if they're not, they'll be out of work for the next however many years until their kids, if she's not single, if she's married, her husband will step up, take care of the family, and then she'll be taking care of the kids because she'll be unemployed here pretty soon.
It was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay.
So this is what's interesting to me. Let's take a step back here. Listen to this one more time here.
Brand. And I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, and if we do not attract young drinkers.
Here's what's interesting. So rather than figuring out a way to bring back their old demographic that made them the number one light beer in the United States only 4 years ago. They were number one in the United States. Rather than figuring out a way to bring back their old clientele and fight for that and bring them back in and remind people that we are America's beer. We're you know, all this American, like, they didn't, instead of leaning into that, what made them who they are, this woman decided, you know, I'm just going to go with what I feel, with what my feelings tell me are going to revitalize this brand. And in doing so, she's completely ostracized the original group of people that drank Bud Light. Like, their original consumer base is like, took a nuclear bomb to it and just chucked it and blew it up completely. Like, the real men of genius who drank Bud Light, goodbye. You'll never see them again.
This brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time.
Surprise! So what do? We don't fix the brand.
And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like,
yo, and shout out to all the people around my age, you know, approaching 40 in their mid 30s, that have decided that alcohol is not the way, that we did our time, probably more than some of us should have. We drank more than a lot of us should have. So kudos to you and those who have decided that alcohol is a fool's game and it's time to step up and be an adult.
we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what is...
It's incredible
what is
that
evolve
this
and
person
elevate
has to
mean?
defend
It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean,
She says including men and women in her campaign. Like the men in the one commercial for the Super Bowl, the one man in that commercial essentially was the word that you can, you know, is a Voldemort. We're just gonna use that for the SIMP. For the SIMP, we're just gonna call them Voldemorts. Since we can't say that name, we'll say Voldemorts. So they're just guys that are like, hey, look, I'm dancing for my girl. I'm entertaining my woman. I'm not being manly. That's fine. You know, that's fine. You can do that campaign if you like. And then you go and do a Dylan Mulvaney campaign. And now you're sitting here justifying it only days after and talking about how you're making a campaign. You got to appeal to men and women. Well, you're not appealing to your original portion that made you the number one light beer in all of the United States. Again, you ostracized the real men of genius.
Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach.
Out of touch humor. How about no humor at all? And the fact that they used the hold music. Here, let's go ahead and watch this real quick. The Super Bowl commercial of 2023. Look how stupid this is.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes.
We're going to use a joke. Literally, the hold music joke, this joke is like 10 years old. It's like over a decade old, if not longer. It's like 20 years old. So this whole commercial, this whole joke, you're going to say we're out of touch, you're out of touch. Your whole campaign, your whole marketing department is garbage. Oh yeah. Oh, look, they can't even put the US on there anymore. And this guy, be honest, I was never a fan of this dude. Like, sometimes he's okay. He's okay in some stuff, but a little bit overrated actor. A little bit overrated. And I don't even know who this girl is. That's how much, like, nobody cares. And you know, that's another thing. These two would not be waiting on hold at all in this house that they try to make look like an average American's house. Like neither of these two live in a house this size. To them, this house right here is tiny. They're like, what the fuck? What acting stage? What is this? What is this little tiny house that you made us drive up to?
We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
So bad. I hope they copyright me for this. Were they going to copyright me for this? For watching this video? Is Bud Light going to copyright me? Am I going to have to like... I'm probably going to have to cut... I'm probably going to have to cut that out on my repost. Did I get a alert yet? No, I didn't get an alert yet. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, so, I was going to talk about bottle service and Alcoholics Anonymous. Not that. Alcoholics Anonymous. Where are we at? Not Anheuser-Busch. Where are you at? Oh, yeah, this is a good one, too. The Animal House Effect. Where's that? Where's that? Where was I looking for that? I lost what I was looking for. When was AAO? Okay, yeah, Alcoholics Anonymous. 1935. So, it only took 2 years after prohibition, alcohol prohibition, for somebody to come up with a organization that supported alcoholics and tried to help them get out of that binge drinking alcoholism life. And I grew up here in Akron, in this city, so I'm very familiar with all of this in a sense of I grew up close around it, and you see it and you hear about it. So it's very interesting, the whole situation now. So I appreciate. I'm gonna have to cut it here this morning. I know we covered a bunch of stuff. I got more I want to talk about in the terms of like bottle service and nightclubs, because I did work in bottle service and I did work in the nightclubs, and the idea of it has really blown up to the point where prior to the early 2000s, as you can see here. This is Wikipedia now. Obviously, it was available prior to that, but the idea of bottle service and what we see in the nightclubs today and entertainment is relatively new. It's only, barely 20 years old. Barely 20 years old. In the terms of the style of the clubs that we see today, it's barely 20 years old. It's completely changed the whole dynamic of the way people act and the drink and experience nightlife. It's not what it used to be. So I want to say thank you guys for stopping by. Anybody who stopped by, we'll get back to this some more tomorrow. We're gonna talk about this. I think I want to talk about this all week. I'm gonna keep digging deeper each day into this alcohol lifestyle, and the different things that surround alcohol that make it what it is today. So we're gonna keep diving deep. I want to thank you guys. Unfortunately, I gotta get to the day and go get that bag, go get my money so I can do this, because this streaming business has yet to start paying the bills. So we're gonna keep working. We're diving in all week. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Peace. Oh yeah, we'll close it like this. We'll close it like this.
Better than alcohol, man. Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you're trying to stop drinking, you need something better than alcohol. And alcohol's pretty good. So you better find something a lot better, man. Esteemable people do esteemable things. It's like, you want to figure out something that you're doing with your life that's worth not getting drunk and screwing up. You might say, well, why do people drink too much? If you like alcohol, that's a stupid question. Why do people drink too much? Well, because it's great. So why stop? Well, you do stupid things when you're drunk. You hurt yourself, you compromise your health. It's really hard on the people around you. You tend to turn into a liar, and it screws up your life. It's like, but it's pretty fun. Yeah, well, it is. But you need something better than that. And what's better isn't being straight and not making mistakes. It's like that's all prohibition in some sense. What's better is, no, you need an adventure, man. Alcohol is an interesting drug. Alcohol, it's a hell of a drug. Alcohol, it's a great drug. But the problem is, it's a great drug. No, you need an adventure, man. You need to get out there and have something to do, something worth waking up for. That's the substitute for the addiction. Actually, the addiction is the substitute for that, if truth be known. Alcohol really is a good drug for coping with anxiety. It makes you more extroverted and enthusiastic, more full of positive emotion. And the second thing it does is reduce anxiety. It's a great drug. But the problem is, it's a great drug for the moment. Alcohol is an interesting drug. Alcohol, it's a hell of a drug. Alcohol, it's a great drug. But the problem is, it's a great drug. Alcohol is an interesting drug because it actually doesn't make people stupid. People who are drunk will take far more risk. And you might say, well, that's because they're too stupid to understand the risk. It's like, no, they're not. If you ask them about the risk when they're drunk, they can outline it perfectly. What it stops them from doing is caring about the risk. That's why you can drive around drunk at high speed in a car, which is a really stupid thing to do. It's fun, like so many things. It's like jumping off a cliff. I'm flying. True until the last 1/10 of a second. It's like then you're not flying, man.